Today's guest is Obinna Levi Adronima, otherwise known as DJ Obi. He's one of the most recognizable names in Nigerian music, the mind behind Obi's House, a party that's grown into a global movement. In 2016, he broke the world record for the longest continuous DJ set, 240 hours, a marathon that shot him into the spotlight. Since then, he's bagged awards, partnered with brands like Nike, Tag Heuer, and Jack Daniels, and built a career that started way back in university, spinning at college parties. But here's the real question. Even when you know your calling, does it make the journey any easier? How do you build a life in uncharted territory and keep it going? In this conversation, Obi opens up about the grind, the friendships that keep him grounded, the family that shaped him, and the creative path he's still carving. There are different types of archetypes of a lone wolf, and filming this podcast, I've realized that creativity truly does come in many forms. I remember several years ago, I went to Sao Cafe while DJ Obi was attempting to break the Guinness World Record for longest DJ set. And I remember thinking two things specifically. One, this guy is crazy. And two, this is probably ahead of his time. It was just like creativity in a way that didn't ask for any kind of permission. It was like setting his own path, literally saying, I am going to be a global DJ, watch me work. So it was very, very inspiring. And I'm so happy to have you as my co-wolf today.
Co-wolf, I like that.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I did. I was definitely crazy back then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, you think you settled down now?
I'm still crazy, I ain't gonna lie. I'm still going crazy. But yeah, man, it feels good to be here, man.
I was telling somebody recently that we're cousins.
They don't believe it, but we are.
We actually are.
Cousins.
So I want to put the
I come with my glasses there so that they believe me.
Yeah, people think, you know how like people will be like, oh, that's my cousin.
No.
So we're not related by blood.
Maternal, is it?
But we are related. Do you know the connection? I know the
Yeah,
connection.
from my mom. I know from my mom's side.
Yeah. So your mom
Through
and
Okechis.
and Tugochi
Right, exactly.
are sisters.
Exactly.
Right?
Right, exactly.
Your mom,
And
okay.
Okechis were my sisters.
Exact. Okay. And Tugochi's mom.
Yes, her sisters.
Got you. Okay, so my uncles follow. Now it's really long. It's really long, but follow me. My dad's brother's wife.
Right.
His mother is his mom's sister.
Bam.
So we're cousins.
Check out. That's how to explain. Best way to put it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're not Cali cousins, for real cousins.
For real cousins. Okay. So, Obi.
Oh, man. I think that's where the craziness works, because, Nicole, too, is, when it comes to these creative things, she doesn't collect permission from anybody.
No permission.
Exactly. So it runs in blood. Yeah, man. Yep.
And you've always been that way?
I have. Recently I was thinking about it, too. My birthday is coming up, and I was just like, yo, I've done some crazy... Is this YouTube? Or, yeah, right? I can curse it. I've done some crazy shit. I've done some crazy shit, over time. And, growing up, I realized that as much as I grew up with family and grew up with people around, there was a part of me that grew up alone, kind of, that was just, learning things as I was growing and seeing things that I like, and I'm like, okay, I know I like that. I know I like that. I know I don't like that. I know I want to do this. I know I want to do that. Okay, I see where everybody else is going. I'm going to go this way. You know what I mean? Yeah, that looks cool, but there are too many people there. So let me go here.
Go this way.
And I simply just called it light. When you have that light and you're confident about it, you just know that when you go the opposite way of what everybody else is doing, wearing, saying, you're still going to set the trend, if that makes any sense. You're still, even though people are heading the other way, they're going to look back and be like, but oh, wait, why is that guy going that way? And that was where I realized, like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I did and even still do or think about, at this age. And it's like, yeah, I know nobody else is thinking this, but I'm going to do it.
And you think you've been like that from the beginning?
For a while. Yeah, I think it's boarding house that cost it.
That's so good because boarding house is like pack mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lone wolf always like goes the other way.
Right. You find the rest of your pack, and you guys, I always just realized that at some point I was always just doing my own thing, and like I would have my own clique that would do my own thing with me.
What's your own thing? Like
whatever it is, you feel me? Like I feel like, for instance, if I'm taking it back to school, like in high school, I know back then a lot of people were, going crazy about inter-house sports and races and all that. But I feel like the moment I tapped into that and I started participating, I created my own lane. Like they always did it and it was there, but there was something about Obi running his 200 meters, his 100 meters and winning the race that was different from when the other people did it. And I just always noticed that, so it gave me the confidence to just, when people thought I was going crazy or, when people think I'm going nuts, it just gave me the confidence to say, yeah, I know what I'm doing, so keep going, they'll come back later. You understand? Yeah, so... yeah, stuff like that.
That's really interesting because I think like when you're young, like for me, I went to boarding school as well. And I feel like I tried really hard to fit in. Like I was either, oh, why are you talking like that? Why do you have an accent? Or, I remember one senior asking me to sing the British anthem.
What? Sing the national?
Yeah, to literally sing. And I don't know the anthem.
Kids are mean.
Who knows the British anthem? Like, if you know it, please, like, say it in the comments. But kids are just the worst.
Kids are mean, really.
I remember, like, I would come back from school and then I'll start, like, I'll ask my mom for something. Maybe I'll say, Mommy, can I have rice? She's like, why are you talking like that? And I'm like, because
you're trying to switch it and practice switching it. Oh my goodness.
So I spent a lot of time, and even as an adult, like I don't know if you remember this, but I actually, oh my God, sorry, I just realized something. You were my first guest on Real Talk.
Oh, Sam, you see, I've always been.
Show.
I remember.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was a while ago.
Yeah, like Daddy. Oh my gosh, this just felt very full circle.
It is. You see?
So so I had this TV show on Ndani.
I remember
called Real Talk, and I replaced a popular host called Cornelia Odwaya.
I remember, we went to the restaurant, we had
exactly.
I remember.
And it was quite a controversial topic as well. And you were being very controversial that day. But, or honest, not controversial. But I remember in that situation, the reason why I brought it up is like after, I guess everybody loved Cornelia for season 1. And then season 2, I just pop up and I'm, talking or whatever. Right. And then in the comments, people would be like, who is this girl? Why is her voice like that? Why does she talk through her nose? Why does she this?
I feel you.
And for so long, it actually it made me not want to speak. Like speak on, I already felt uncomfortable just in the situation because you're coming to a show that is already preset.
And everybody's used to the
previous host. And then it was also like conversations about like, I don't know, intertribalism marriage or like feminism and just like things that I just didn't necessarily feel like I wanted to speak about at the time, or just knowing how to navigate different people's personalities. So it was interesting. But you were my first guest, so thank you for always supporting the call.
Steady pulling up. I think what's her name is going through that same scenario right now with the whole pop the balloon situation.
Exactly.
Because I feel like a lot of the people that are fans of the show, it's like cool story, but they're being very mean.
Yes.
Let me know sugarcoat it because she's doing her thing.
Yeah.
I've actually because of the uproar, I watched it and I was like, Yvonne is doing her thing. I think more than anything else, the guests on the show, they should have made that real people, but Yvonne is doing her thing, so. And the former host who's still,
executive producing
the show, she went through the whole process with her. So like the handoff was cool. I think she's an amazing guest, but it's just one of those things where people fight change, and when they're used to something, they want it to keep going. But there has to be change. It's constant,
There has to be change, and then you also have to be confident in your abilities and just be okay with people not necessarily liking you and stuff like that.
It's cliche. It sounds very cliche, but people are always going to talk. People are always going to, they will speak their mind, but you have a goal, you have a focus, just stick to that. The noise eventually turns to praises.
Yeah, I love that. I was looking on Instagram and I saw Obi's house schedule.
Crazy.
And I'm just going to list off. I had to write it down. There were so many.
You did not write it down.
You just did MIT, something MIT.
Right, MIT.
Paris, Dallas, Trinidad, Austin, Ghana, Toronto, Birmingham,
San Francisco, Toronto.
I didn't go in order because I just started jumping. I said the thing will finish on my iPad. Australia.
Crazy.
Okay, like for me, you are the blueprint when it comes to the fact that you cannot cage creativity.
No, you can't.
Right? And I just wonder when you're in it, you're inside of your life, right? But did you ever have an inkling of this picture, or has it just surpassed your wildest dreams?
Both actually. Both, because that little kid I was telling you about always dreamt about days like this. I grew up watching my dad work. So I always wanted to be able to do my own thing, which this is right now, So it's like living the dream, and sometimes it feels like deja vu because these are, it's something that I've always wanted to do. So some of it feels very familiar, even if it's just happening. And it's also just living my wildest dreams because, like, we're talking about the schedule now. And, like, I remember days where I was thinking, man, when am I going to get booked for one of these festivals that I'm going to travel? I'm going to travel, go around the world. When am I going to get booked? When am I going to get booked? And now I'm doing my own thing. I'm booked with my own brand, by my own brand. You feel me? It says a lot. God said it and he will do it. That's just the truth. All of this is answered prayers, and I say that to try and encourage someone out there. It's like when you're praying about something, you have to put you have to visualize it. You have to put pictures to your words. You have to put belief. You have to believe in what you're praying about. You have to and believing it means you're visualizing, you're seeing it. You feel me? And then that's, it's not telling God what he should do, but it's showing that you're ready. He's showing you the blueprint. This is how you're gonna pass. This is how you're gonna go. This is what you're gonna do. This is how you're gonna do it. This is the feeling you're gonna get when you're in the room full of right people. This is the feeling you're gonna get when you meet somebody that I need you to connect with. If it's not this type of feeling, then yes, it's nothing to look into. Maybe don't even go there. Those type of things. So a lot of it feels very familiar, but it's very brand new to me. So it's still me living my wildest dreams and doing things that I've always wanted to do. But at the same time, it's like, okay, God, I thank you because you didn't lie about anything,
So in those moments when you're like, when am I gonna have these opportunities? When am I, like, what were those moments? Like, were you in a period where it wasn't happening? And like, what was that?
I won't say, at the time it wasn't happening. And, obviously watching my peers do their thing, or maybe some of them even doing some of these gigs, and it's like, you want to aspire to do those things as well, it's just that sometimes the story is different, and when it's with God, it's even better because then, yes, as much as you want to do that, God might have a bigger plan for you, and sometimes that might be the biggest thing for you, and you're thinking, what more can, or what is bigger than this, because this is what you want, and that's for God to show you that, okay, these gigs that you're looking for, that you want him to book you, I'm trying to make sure that you get the 100% versus a percentage of whatever it is you're booking for. Sometimes I always laugh at myself about that, because some of the gigs that I was looking forward to, when I hear the back end of that person I was looking at, when I hear the back end of what happened, I'm like, I'm like, I guess that's why I didn't do that. And I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't have to go through that. Okay, God, I see why you did put me through that, because I would have reacted differently, or this would have been very discouraging, stuff like that. So it's very amazing and very refreshing to be able to do what I'm doing it. And it's like I'm doing it for myself, for my brand, you feel me? So, which was one of the things I realized going into Obi's house before I started, was like I was doing a lot for other people. I wasn't putting myself first, because I didn't understand what I was carrying.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
And
how did you even get to know that you had something?
Because during a rock bottom COVID year, I'm thinking deeply and going through my years in Nigeria and thinking what is it that I've done over the years, and I'm thinking about all these people. Sometimes I watch people tell their success story, and I'm like, there's a missing piece here. I was there. Okay, why did you talk about the bit I helped out with, or talk about some businesses surviving, or some businesses being successful, especially in the nightlife or entertainment space? And it's like, yeah, I was part of that journey, but you get overlooked. So it's time to tell your own story. Those are the kind of things that propelled me to.
Right.
It's like, it's time to tell your own story. And since this person is not going to tell the story how it's supposed to be, whenever you get the chance to do it, you can correct it. But if you don't put yourself in
the driver's seat.
That's the place of power, control. If you don't put yourself in the driver's seat, then somebody else is going to tell your story for you. And you're not going to like how they're going to say it.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. And I feel like as creatives, sometimes, and I think the difference between a lone wolf and a pack wolf, is a pack wolf is in a system, right? So the system has been designed for you. So you do this, you do this, you do this, and this is how you rise, right? Whereas as a lone wolf, you're out in the wilderness.
That lone wolf is creating that system for that.
For that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So you're going through those trenches, you're going through the tough times, you are the test robot, the crash dummy, you feel me?
Right.
Like you're going through all of that to now say, okay, guys,
this
is how we're going to do it, because you're going to be talking from experience.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people also, because it's twofold, right? You have people like you that you say, okay, I've helped these people on their journeys. There's a missing link. I'm not there, right? It's now time to tell my own story.
Facts.
But I found a lot of people, especially, I feel like I'm always shitting on Gen Zs, but I'm just always like, these Gen Zs. I wonder if that's how our parents are like, these millennials. but I feel like they want to be the driver of their story immediately. But I feel right away. But I feel like there is merit in, being a lone wolf, but also being, in the pack of another lone wolf, right? A bigger lone wolf, right? So you're able to then see, okay, this is how this person navigated this obstacle, this is how whatever, and then you're collecting tools almost. And before you then foray out, because I find that these little lone wolves, they want to be big wolves.
But they think they can do it overnight as well,
Right.
Yeah, and then something happens that checks them, and that something that happens is life. Life
and
will
blows them away. It's like a house that was built on a rubbish foundation.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when they now realize that, okay, I need to figure out who this person is. I need to respect this person. I need to know my neighbor. I need to show respect. I need to show love and all of that. Because the way a lot of them are moving is like me, I. And it's like, there were people here before you. I mean, like, whatever you think you're doing now has been done 20 million times over the whole human race. You're not the first. So you're one of one, but you're not the first. There's a big difference there. Understanding that you're one of one means that you understand yourself, like you said, as a lone wolf. You understand who you are, but understanding that people have come before you means that you're wise enough to go and ask for help. You understand? You're wise enough to watch other people that came before you, study them, talk to them, see what it is that they did, because from that conversation, they're able to tell you, yeah, I've experienced this. It's almost like I was watching something last night, and it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was just talking about how people always think that they're the only ones going through something.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the biggest lies of the devil is like, it's just you, it's only you, until you speak up. Until you speak up and realize that there's so many other people going through this thing, and you guys can actually maybe come together and work through these things together and teach each other from each other's mistakes. That's one thing that a lot of people don't. Gen Z guys are my guys, but some of them, you feel me? Everybody just wants to go through this like emo, depressing time of like, man, the world is shit because it won't feel so. It's like, bro, there's so many other people that's why, you know, the age thing, you feel me? Like people that are older than you can go and talk to them and find out, okay, have you ever been through this thing? Create the scenario. Don't you know, pin it on yourself, pin it on somebody else, create a character, but describe the story and get the feedback that you want so that you can navigate life better.
That's facts. But this age thing that you mentioned,
it's you know,
it's real, but it's also wild. So I was having a conversation recently with Osao, and we realized you're turning 40.
What does it mean? What?
And he was like, damn. And I was like, damn. It was like a realization. What next? You know what I mean?
We are the uncles and aunties that we used to talk about.
Jesus, I was just so shocked. Do you know what I mean? Because it was on the schedule, clear. Oh, he's 40. I said, Chai. So all of us just had this moment where we're like, wow. Like we are their 40th birthdays now. Like we are close behind, and it's so real.
Extremely real. And even with the celebrations comes the other side with the grief, and you know, now we're going to certain type of, you know, service of songs or you know, funerals and stuff like that. So ultimately, with turning 40, I think that I've just now decided to like live life. I'm calling it my king phase. Like it's like now it's king shit only. Like literally. Yeah, facts. Like it's king shit only. Literally, like I know people hate the fact that sometimes I'm even that humble, but I know I've been humble for a while. You know, and it's not that I want to come out and be, you know, brash or proud or anything. You know, it's just that like now when there's this guy, I need to remember his name. He's tall. He's an Igwe from the East. I can't remember his name. I promise you. He walks with command. You know, understand? He came to Obi's house. The other day.
I just watched that movie.
Listen,
I don't mind.
You see him? That's the phase I'm talking about where like you walk in the room and it just commands respect. You can be smiling at that, but when someone sees you and they think about you and they've seen you before, they're like, you know what? I know that guy, and like, yeah, if I'm gonna approach that guy, I have to come correct. Don't come to me on some bullshit. You feel me? Like before, I might have stomached it and be like, okay, let me just help you because you are deceiving yourself. But now it's like, come correct with any and everything that you're coming to me with, or even for me, anything I'm doing, I'm trying to show up correct. I'm trying to, you know, be way more structured than I have been, you know. And yeah, just like everything has to count. All the experience, all the mistakes, all the success, all the celebration, all the sadness, all the grief. At 40, everything has to count. Everything has to make sense. Like you've learned a lot, so show us what you've learned. You're still gonna learn more, but at that age is where you can, you won't write a book at this point.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly.
And I love that because everything counts. Like every single thing and every failure, every rock bottom. I feel like the rock bottoms, they say the only way that you can actually stand up is when you get on your knees.
Facts.
Right? So like rock bottom is so essential.
It is.
But I think like some people just don't know how to come out of that.
It's hard.
Do you know what I mean?
It's hard, but that's part of what I'm talking about now is that it's like all those mistakes and all those things you felt like you did wrong that people are looking, that someone might be like, oh my God, I've never, it's like, listen, at this point in my life now, I know that I would never judge a book by its cover. Until that person has been in the same situations I've been. And then we can decide, okay, you did it differently than I did. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to money and grief. Those two, they can deter your life very greatly or terribly. You feel me? And that's one of the things I realized, like we're talking about Gen Zs now, right? Everybody wants to say what they can do and cannot do, but they don't have that $1 million in their account yet, or they haven't experienced grief. So I don't really know your character yet, because then those two things are extremely painful, extremely joyous. You understand what I'm saying? Like, who are you when you have $1 million in your account? How long is that $1 million going to last in your account? Are you going to blow through it? Or are you going to make another $1 million from that $1 million?
Right.
Then when the supply of that $1 million is gone, maybe if it's your parents, even if it's you, if you're going through a downtime, you know, someone will say, who are you in that downtime? Who are you in that darkness? Who are you in that grief? Do you now, you know, do you have the strength to actually, because in those moments, it's not about leaning on anybody but yourself.
Right.
So are you strong enough to dig deep in that darkness and within all the lies that the devil is filling in your mind at that point to pull yourself out to come back to the light? It's not very easy. Even in your lone wolf era, there's respect when you're going through the path of life. You meet certain people, it's just respect. It's like a head nod, like, you know, I see you.
Yes.
I can recognize that you're there. We might not even have to interact, but
exactly.
I see you.
I love that because on the path we meet all sorts, right? And they're lone wolves on their journey. Sometimes you collaborate, sometimes you don't. But that head nod is very important.
It is.
And I think sometimes people are so full of self. And so you think you're the big baddest wolf.
You know?
But yeah, it's really, really important.
It's very important.
Really important.
It goes a long way to just see people. You know, you think it's so basic, but it can go a long way for that person, you know, which is what I try to do. I always tell people I will be very welcoming and I will respect you until you give me a reason to just come out of the gate disrespectful. It would be, you know, bad.
I want to take all the way back, right, to just that moment where you decided, I want to DJ. Like, I want to understand how you went from whatever you were doing to then making that first step, and then just like a summary of the journey, which is like windy.
Back 2005.
I feel like a track needs to play now. What song would you play?
8 Mile, the intro of what's it?
Eminem.
I started in 2005. Honestly, it was a mixture of breakfast and hustle mentality. Obviously, growing up with my dad and being in that space, it was something that I admired. Now being in university in the States.
He was in the media.
He was in the media, TV and radio, right? So now being in the university and being in the States and just understanding hustle now and like understanding that pocket money is not going to cut it up. I need my extra stacks, you feel me? Not going to sell drugs, not going to do anything crazy because, we can cosplay all you want, but that's just not who I am. You feel me? So I decided I was going to learn how to DJ, but then I was like, but I might not need to learn because I've been in the space already, right? So I decided I was gonna, you know, this is me now just bouncing it around, you know, thinking about it, and all of a sudden one day in school, there's like like Freshers Week, where, you know, that type of thing where there's a DJ there. And because I've been thinking about it, I'm like, oh, this is a sign. Let me talk to this guy. So I'm over there, you know, during lunch break, talking to him, like, you know, this is something I've always wanted to do. It looks pretty cool. Like, how do I even start? What do I do? Let's asking him questions. And he sees the passion, you know, and he literally right there starts teaching me.
Wow.
Like a crash course, starts teaching me how to DJ. And he hooked me up with like that type of CD books. Like 3 or 4 CD books with like different tracks, almost like 2,000 tracks, like maybe 10 tracks on one were packed. And he was like, yeah, bro, go ahead. You see everything I taught you in school that day, like go. I think he even charged me like maybe like $200-300 or something like that for the music catalog that he had at the time. So I was like, man, I'm really doing this, you know. And then I bought actually I didn't buy the equipment yet. I'd linked up with the DJ. At that time, there was one babe I was toasting. She's not really the answer because she get boyfriend. Then her sister was doing a birthday. Or her sister's birthday was coming up. And I was trying to make an impression, seriously. Like, yo, this guy needs to leave the picture. I'm trying to step in, all that type of stuff. You know? Maybe like even 2-3 nights before, maybe the guy too is trying to show up for his babe's sister. So he starts, you know, doing facility things. So she's trying to like shoo me away, but she technically is trying to break up with me now, like on some like I can't have two of you in the house at the same time, you know. So to solidify my own invite for the groove, I was like, you guys need a DJ, right? I gotta be there.
I love that.
I gotta be there. So I went and bought my equipment because I have the CDs down. Week leading up to it, I was practicing. She really did try to break up with me, which was what led to buying the Newmark CD mix because I needed to distract my emotions. I was going through serious breakfast. Like, what is this girl talking about? You know, after all these lunch breaks, and then we worked in the mall together. Like, I don't do this job. Why you make me come in?
Love her.
Bruh. So that's how DJ Obi started.
Wow. I love that.
You feel me? And I started, you know, I tell people I'm self-taught because I really only had that crash course in school, and then everything else up until now, I've taught myself how to do. Yeah, so it started like that. It started from house parties, and now today I'm doing my own house party as a weekly event.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was talking to one of my boys from back then, and literally it did start at house parties with her party, the graduation party. Shout out to Smitty if he's watching this. Smitty's party, everybody's still like, oh, from Smitty's house to Obi's house, it's been an amazing journey. Yeah, because those were the first 2 gigs that I really did, and it was like, okay, you know what, maybe I can do this, you know. And then there was another house party, and in that house party I met the president of one ASA at UMass, Amherst or Boston or something like that now booked me for like my first college gig.
Okay.
Yeah, well, corporate college. Yeah, exactly. So from there it started building, honestly. Yeah, and I just figured out how to balance it with school and traveling and stuff like that. And then I tapped into my Niger network heavy. All the people I went to secondary school with, most of them had traveled out. So wherever they were, I was letting people know, I'm a DJ now. I can come to your, I can come to your city. I can come to your town. I can come to your school. Let me know. I'll pull up. And it was also an excuse for me to catch up with old friends, which was amazing. So it was like a 2-for-1. So a lot of my early gigs were just me going to hang out with my friends and like, yo, my boy's the DJ. Let's do a house party. Or my boy's the DJ. Let him come and play at my school. That kind of thing. And it grew from there.
I think that what's really cool is like you started by saying like you knew that you needed more money, like you needed more stacks, right?
Yes.
And I think that's what makes you a really powerful lone wolf, right? Because I would say you're my egg boy in the lone wolf in the wilderness, right? From a business perspective, because you had money in mind. You had this business mentality from early on. So you making, that's cold calls, that's going up, that's showing up, that's actually like making money from, whereas like for me, it started as like, I want to write. I want to write a poem. You know, I want to write these stories, but the money never came into the equation. It's only now that I'm shit, I have to.
It was something that for me from beginning, it was always thing. Like I'm watching my dad, you know, and being around him, I used to see like his rate card for his sponsorship, for his shows. So it was for me, even if it just meant business to me, like always get your money.
Wow.
You feel me? And I mean, unfortunately now I can't necessarily use him as an idol anymore, but back in the day, Diddy was a very, very strong idol for me. And like I used to watch a lot of the things he did and, you know, listen to a lot of the talk shows and interviews that he was doing. And it's crazy that Diddy will always talk about like he would always give people, in my opinion, he would always give people his antidote, like of how to deal with him. But it's just that you were not strong enough or consistent enough to do that. Because he would always talk to artists to say, read your contracts. He would always talk about getting your money, you know, making sure that you're getting your money and all of that. But the people that dealt with him, you know, it was like, yeah, he took advantage of that. But the reason why he was advising was because he was taking advantage of people. Oof. You feel me? So that's why he knew.
So he knew what
you understand. It's like, yeah, if you're not wise enough, if you're dumb enough, you're gonna run into a Diddy.
Wow.
So if you don't want to run into a Diddy, go read your contract, know how to get your money, blah blah blah. If not, then yeah, you meet a Diddy.
Wow.
You feel me? And then so it's the same. It goes back to the same thing as telling your story versus somebody else telling the story. You understand? You want to know all the information for yourself, even if you're the talent. You still want to know what the lawyer needs to know. You still want to know what the PR person needs to know. You still want to know what the photographer needs to know. You need to know all those things so that nobody can play you. If you don't know all those things, then somebody's going to come and tell you that this mic is $5,000 when you can get it for $100.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, that's always been my thing, and I did learn that a lot physically from my dad. But in terms of like the music space and entertainment space, yeah, there was someone like Diddy that I was able to use as an example to say, okay, yeah, I don't want to be as harsh as he is business-wise, but okay, I see what I see the gems in what he's saying. Like, if you're not wise, if you're not sharp, somebody's going to take advantage of you. Yeah. And that was what helped me out,
That's
honestly.
really cool.
Yeah. So I always knew that I wanted to be in the business. So even if I wasn't a talent, I knew that I could handle a talent, and I knew everything that needed to be done. But then I was also the talent. So that's why for a while, if you remember, I didn't have a manager because I didn't necessarily need to. I knew what I wanted. I knew what to do. I knew how to be the manager through my email. You understand? I knew how to tell people like, oh, my team will get back to you. And then I didn't necessarily have a team. I was my team. You feel me? That kind of thing, because
but
you need to create those boundaries. Yeah, so
your whole team,
my squad, my queens,
and I love that you're around women.
All women. I only work with them because women see further than men, and like they say, you give a woman something good, she will make it great. So yeah, I tapped into that heavy. Men. I like my niggas, but it stays at the friendship level. Yeah. If I want to do business with them, it means that I understand them a little more. There's a lot of ego to deal with when you're doing business with friends, especially with men. So I tend to stay away from that, at least now, a lot more than I would a woman or even my team. My team is handpicked. All of them are answered prayers. God brought all of us together. So like I was saying, that feeling of when you're in the room and God wants you to meet someone, that was the feeling I had when I met all of them. Wow. You feel me? It was like, and even for the ones in the UK, even them coming up to me to say, oh, let's work together. There's so many people that did that, but with the way they approached me was different. Exactly. The things they said, and there was humility with the way they spoke about it. People that want to work with you and see you progress will not stress you. You won't see their contributions, their suggestions and all of that as stress, because you're rest assured that they are there to elevate you or help elevate you, and you see the signs. You see the signs in their character. You see the signs or hear the signs from what they say, how they talk, how they move. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I was able to pick the team.
So, how we spoke about, in the wilderness, you meet other co-wolves.
Yes.
Or rather, in the wilderness, you meet other lone wolves. And they're just on their own journeys. And sometimes you just give a head nod, and other times you collaborate. I think that Burna Boy is one of those wolves.
This is King Kong. Big wolf. Big wolf.
Big wolf. That you've, collaborated with. What's your relationship? Are you his official DJ?
No.
That's
that is Spaceship Billy. Shout out Billy. What up, bro? Billy is an amazing DJ. He's Burna's official DJ, but I do get mixed up sometimes with that because of how we hang out. But we're really just amazing friends, great brothers. It's a good backstory, I'm not gonna lie. And shout out to his mom, Namix, the almighty Namix. Listen, Namix is a very strong reason why I work with women. Because I saw that when I tapped it with Burna, and I saw that. I was like, what am I doing with all these niggas around me? All of you get out. You feel me? But rewind to his first Grammy night, winning the Grammy the first time, everybody was ecstatic. Everyone was so happy with, celebrating in his house, partying, and Auntie Boss looked at me one time, we're all dancing, she likes her champagne. And she's like, Yusuf, what's your name? I'm always seeing you around. What do you do? When they say, did you? What do you do? What's your name? I was like, oh, Auntie, no, DJ Obi now. She's like, no, what's your real name? I was like, Obina Jonuma. And when I moved to Nigeria, like, after my dad passed, I realized how influential he was because like 5, maybe 7, 8 out of 10 people that ask my name would be like, oh, I know your dad. You feel me? So I was expecting that reaction, but very shallow. You understand? But she said, what? You said your name was what? I said, Obina. She said, no, you say, Ajonma, you live his son. Like when somebody says that,
Right.
Yeah, you know that no, this one, you know, because usually I'll get that, oh, you're Olivia Jonoma's son, or oh, the NTA or open house party or something. They'll, you know. She said, are you Livy's son? I was like, yeah. She's like, no, how? Burna's granddad, her dad, was sitting on the couch, and she drags me. She's like, do you know who this is? I'm like, Grandpa. She's like, no. She's like, you see all you children, you don't know anything. You just be walking around thinking you're doing things by yourself. You understand? And she just pretty much broke down the history to me. She's like, this is the man that taught your dad, that mentored your dad when he came back from America.
Wow.
And I was like, huh? And she's like, yeah. Your father used to come to our house every week, every Sunday. So she's like, you see the way you come and see Damini every week? Your father used to come like that, right? And, you know, she broke it down and all of that. And that was cool. That was the first one. That was cool. And I greeted Grandpa and then obviously the history. And he was just like, oh, okay, you know, Divvy's son, happy to see you, you know, and stuff like that. And she just kept going on. And then the conversation even led later to like, you know, sometimes we have all these things around us, but we are trying to be the lone wolf and do our own thing. And it's like, no, you have the resources that are right here. So why are you veering off? Why are you going so far away when everything you need is right here? And she was explaining that to me, you know, because their family is extremely talented. Nisi is an amazing artist, you know, Burna himself, you know, Ronnie, amazing with fashion and all of that. So she was just advising me because she was like, this is the same thing she tells her kids, like, you can't shy away from, like, for instance, with the girls, you can't shy away from being Burna's sister. Like, that's who you are. So embrace it. You understand what I'm saying? That type of shit. So it was one of the things where I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. And it was one of the things where we think that we forget that people we spoke about this now, we forget that people have come before us. You feel me? And they've set they've cleared the path. You feel me? So yeah, so that was it. So all that time I was walking around in that house or around them as a stranger or just Burna's friend. I was not. This is destiny happening, you know. So fast forward to one of the shows he had in London coming up. We're hanging out at this lounge we always hang out at. And Uncle T, who's Auntie Boss's brother, comes in to hang with us, and he's like, oh, Obi, I heard your Livy's son. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know. Auntie B says, he was like, no, hold on. Your dad used to come, like, he was like, your dad was my guy. I used to look forward to your popsy coming to our house after the show. On Sundays, we come and greet our dad, you know, but he always come bearing gifts. That was what stuck with Burna and I, because we had known ourselves based on industry. Oh, Burna Boy, oh, DJ Obi. And we really connected in Ghana, like 2020 to 2021, you know. And when we came back to Lagos, like I always just pull up to his house, but I always bring some munchies. You know, we're stoners. So like, I'm not that friend that will just come and like, you know, eat your shit, take your shit. And I was like, I need to contribute to our comfort in this friendship. You feel me? So, you know, I'm not always going to come here and be like, you know, give me this, give me, give me. So, I just always thought it would be polite to, as a stoner, I know that we're going to be hungry. We're going to need something to drink. So let me come with that because, you know, that type of shit. And to think that I was doing that on my own, I thought I was doing that for myself. And hearing Uncle T say like, no, what you do, your dad used to do years ago. And we didn't even know each other, like myself and Burna back then. We're kids, you feel me? So it was kind of what solidified our friendship. Like, okay, we're not even friends, we're brothers. Like, this is destiny. Like, we're cool.
That's so funny. This is a little unrelated, but I told you I saw Burna in the club, and I said to him, I was like, you and Obi, you're brothers, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, he's my cousin.
You did that?
So technically, and he was like, you could tell he wanted But then I broke him. You know what I mean? I broke him. He just like smiled. I was like,
Don't kill me.
We're gonna be tight.
Yeah, man. But that's really hard. I know a lot of people see us and they think it is off of industry or whatever, but it's way beyond that. It's deeper than that. We realized it's deeper than that, and that's where our connection really solidified, and like it's been cool since then. Like so.
And I think something you said that reminded me, and I've spoken about this before, like the difference between people who are attached to you and people who are assigned to you. So people in your life.
Oh, lucky. Because guess what?
Yeah.
In Ghana, at that time, man, it was one of the darkest times in my life. And I don't know why, but Burna saw me. I went for a gig in Ghana, Polo Beach Club, whatever. But you know, I was supposed to go and come back, and for some reason, it was like, bro, just stay with me, just hang, let's just chill. And in that moment, I was like, you know, I need that. I actually need that. So yeah, I'm gonna chill. You know, did we try to do the obvious thing of working with music, but it wasn't like necessarily flowing as natural as it should, because it just felt like, you're my guy. It's like, bro, that's not why we're here.
Right.
You feel me? Yeah, it wasn't about that. It wasn't. It was almost like at that point he was also coming into this new fame. Like 2020 was when like everything started popping off. You feel me? So he needed real around him as well. At the same time, I needed a different kind of real, because I'm not at his level. I wasn't popping into the new fame like he was then, but I just I needed a real friend. Yeah, because at that time I was going through a lot. I was just becoming a dad. You know, I was trying to figure out a lot of things with DJing. The world was closed. You feel me? So a lot was going on, and that was really the bond. It was just like, yo, let's just chill, man. Like life is too serious. Like we hung in Ghana for like 2 weeks. But 2 weeks after, I was supposed to only go for a weekend, and I was saying like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks in Ghana, just like decompressing, honestly, and like you know, getting back to real life and stuff like. So that was one of the things, and you know, even just from conversations, you know, Burna is not someone that opens up to people, you know, but in that trip we talked like real people. You know, it wasn't like there was no fake anything around it. It was like I opened up to him about everything I was going through, and like he opened up about like, man, all this is crazy. Like I'm doing all the nighttime shows, Jimmy Fallon, all this, like all of a sudden, like he's the biggest thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like sometimes he just wants to just wants to be chilling. He just wants to be himself at home around people that he you know he fucks with. So understanding that, and it's crazy you say that, because some people I feel like that, you know, are assigned to you, and then that's why like he just always shows up. Like people always wonder like, how's he just pulling up for you? It's like that's because he understands that that's just it. Like there's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. Don't make it anything else but that. You're showing up for your friend, you're showing up for your guy, just show up.
For sure.
Yeah, so, you know, that's really our connection. That's really, you know, our bond is nothing like that. I know people try to, you know, in the beginning, everyone was thinking I was trying to be his DJ or looking for music and all that, which is cool. But like the bond is, when we realized what it really was, we decided that all that stuff was irrelevant because the bond is way more stronger than that, is bigger than, it's deeper than that, you know.
I love that. I think a lot of things in your life are very natural. They just happen.
I like it when it does. I don't like anything to force it.
And even like this new like evolution, would I say, like you dropping music and stuff like that, it feels like a natural progression.
It is. Speaking about, you know, close friends and big brothers, the next song I'm dropping is with Timaya.
Okay.
Timaya is like really one of my good friends, like one of my big bros.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He's so stylish.
He is, you know, and he's so, if he hears that word, that he goes ginger as well. He's so stylish. He's a stylish guy. He's a senior man, you know what I'm saying? And he just took his liking to be like, you're like, Obi, you're like my brother. Like, you feel like you could be my real brother. Like, Timaya is real like that. Like, you know, so in 2020 still, like, he hit me up. And I'll tell you the backstory of this song, actually. The song I'm about to put out is 5 years old. Okay. In 2020, we made this song called Patek. Amazing song. This is the first time you're going to hear Timaya on an R&B track. Oh, wow. Timaya on an R&B track. Exactly. This is the first time you're going to hear Timaya on an R&B track. And even he hearing the song recently was like, now me sing this too. You understand? Because his state of mind then was different, you know. His headspace was just different. I won't say it was cleared or blocked or anything like that. It was just different, you know. But off of our bond, it was just like, yo, we pull up to the crib now. Wait till they do. Wait till they, you know, let's do something together. You know, because that's a friend. Like when a friend realized that, look, like on the business tip, we can both be powerhouses, so let's work something together. It didn't feel, you know, a lot of people have thrown tracks at me. I'm not naming any names, but like people say, oh, let's do this together. And it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like, it just felt like, oh, Obi, you're popping right now, so let me give you this track to put out. You understand? But this track feels very personal. It feels very me. You understand? And even we did put it out back then. Timaya was like, when are we dropping? When are we dropping? And I always just I knew that I wanted to put it out at the right time. And I feel like it's the right time now because it's a very, you know, Papa's chapel track, like, you know, grown and sexy, like, it's for the ladies. It's, you know, little kids can listen to it, but like, it's really for
Not
the
too
mature. Yeah, there's nothing vulgar about it. It describes a very independent, sexy woman.
Okay.
You know, that's not necessarily the baddie type, but like, even if she's a baddie at night, she's a boss lady during the day, you know, type track. That's what the song is yeah, that's what the song is talking about. So it's really just for a mature mind, you know. And that's why it's a different chulo that you get on that track, because he's not giving you the papi chulo vibes of like what it would be if you were ever trying to imagine how Timaya would bag a babe. Like he describes it in this song. You feel me? From this song you can understand why Timaya bags the type of bitches he's bagging. You feel me? So yeah, those are the type of brothers that like promote you. You understand what I'm saying? So like now going into this new evolution of putting out music or even on the business tip, handling stuff like Obi's House, that evolution I want to be able to just showcase to the younger, the folks that are coming up under me or watching me. You understand what I'm saying? I just want them to understand that if it doesn't feel natural, don't force yourself into it, because when you force yourself to do all those type of things, it's a trend. It's a fad. It's going to fade.
Right.
But if you want it to stick, breathe. Take your time. Build it brick by brick. Make sure it's solid and tight. Every brick. Sometimes when you're building a house, you still go back and check this brick right here is affecting something. Break it out. Put a strong out. You understand? Yeah. Take your time if you want it to last. You know, the track is an R&B track. I'm sure people are seeing posts now. Timaya and Obi, they're expecting one. I don't even know what to call it, you know. But it's going to be a shocker, because this one is like a, you know, sit down, roll up something nice, pour some wine, and listen. Just listen. It creates a mood. It creates a cuddle mood. It creates a pre-gaming mood. It creates a mood for people that love R&B music. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we have questions, just one question.
Cool.
So I asked people on social media just to send a message about their creative journey, any questions they have for us, so we can answer it together.
Okay.
Dope. So the question is, when you're deep in the messy middle of creating something new, how do you distinguish between a gut instinct worth following and a distraction that's leading you astray?
I meditate. I meditate. I don't move. It can be annoying to a lot of people because Obi, ginger, let's go. But in that noise of Obi, ginger, I'm just chilling. I'm waiting for, you see that gut feeling there, talk about you feel it. Then you know to move.
What does your meditation look like? Is it like meditation?
It's like, okay. No. My meditation is just sitting still. Sometimes a good wake and bake, but it's just like pondering on the situation. Like, they want me to do this. They want me to do that. Should I not? What is the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario? What can go wrong in between? What can go right? Okay, if this goes wrong, so I break down the whole situation. And this process can take a couple hours, a few minutes, or it can take days. It can take some weeks, depending on how heavy the situation is, the project is, whatever it is. But one thing I always realize, or one thing I've realized, is sometimes even in that meditation, if you wait long enough, that scenario will get tested. So to either start messing up and you now realize that, cool story. You understand? Or something will ginger you that almost catch this thing now. If you don't catch it now, it's going to pass you and you will not be happy that it passes you. So tap in right now and you make the move.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
Sometimes when people, even for DJs, right, somebody might come at you real quick, like, guy, I have this gig for you. It's going to be a so this is the person that's booking you. How much is your this? Chill. Send me the details. Take your time. There are certain key phrases I look out for. There's certain things I look out for. If your information is not complete, that's a red flag. But I still take the information and I'll pay attention. You know what I'm saying? If you have not discussed money up front, that's a red flag. That means you don't know what you want. You know what I'm saying? If you know what you want, you're coming to me with the complete information. This is the date of the gig. This is the venue. This is booking it. This is how much we have. Or if when it comes to how much, because for creatives, you always get stuck with the how much. So when you get to the how much, is that don't be afraid to just give them your figure. Don't worry about it. So, if it's for you, it's for you. That's the way it is. Don't worry about it.
I think men are really good at that.
No. It's not a man thing.
I think men,
I don't think it's a man thing.
Okay, I think it's a man thing. I think that men are used to, punching above their weight when it comes to their weight.
It's a woman that gave me the confidence for this.
Okay.
Because before now, I was the type that if we get to how much we are stuck, we go discuss it. We go discuss, but then it's like, then you at that point don't understand your own importance. You understand what I'm saying? So you're downplaying your brand at that point.
I agree. But I do think it's so hard. Like there's even like creatives around the world, right? Like there's this PDF or this article I read about like how much should I charge, right? And like for me, I just feel like it's so different. Sometimes it's such a hard conversation. Like when I moved back from Dubai, I definitely moved back like knowing my worth, knowing like the kind of rooms that I've been in, the kind of money that I've made. But then when I call money, they look at me like I'm mad.
No, but you have to let them know that's what it is. Yeah, I am mad. That's what I started doing. It's like, you didn't know I was crazy. You want to see crazy, But I'm not gonna lie to you. Since we spoke about Burna and Timaya, those are some of the people that let me know that I'm more strong minds.
Right.
You guys like toughen up because then if you are not, something I learned from Burna is like, well, if you don't have the mind for $1 million, you never get that $1 million. If you don't get the mind, talk that $1 million, you no go ever see them.
Right.
You go to count peanuts. You feel me? But are you worth it? If you're worth it, you have no problem. Give them the amount where they say, okay, you meet the person and be like, you think you're worth this, or come and show me.
Right.
And then you show them, like, you know what, that person that paid you that money, you won't be the one to now be bragging to other people that, yo, I booked this person for this much and he gave me what, you understand what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah, so it's one of those where you don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it.
And you're right, it's not a man thing, it is. And even like Wale was on the podcast and he was saying how Fumbi, the CEO of Fatherland, is the one who calls big money, and he was like, So actually, I think it's a personality thing.
But then when it comes to business, you have to check it.
You just have to check it.
You have to check it. You have to check it.
Back to this question, I just want to add to the person who asked about distinguishing between a gut instinct and a distraction. So my answer is similar to yours in meditation, but a different kind of meditation. I find that, being sometimes when you're like really busy and you're like just in the throes of your life, it's really hard to determine or hear the voice of God. And so you have so many voices, your voice, the enemy's 10 voices, and then the Holy Spirit, right? So I find that taking time just to be still, but that still is not necessarily meditation, but it could be just like journaling or
mentally.
It could be, and any time in my life that I've had to ask multiple people for advice, it's the wrong decision. Because your gut instinct is literally from your gut.
So you know what to do already.
You know what to do. Yeah. So this thing that you're like, how do I know if it's a distraction?
And sometimes asking people is
Very
it's leaking your secret.
dangerous.
Yeah, you're opening yourself up.
Yes.
So sometimes don't ask the question. I mean, in some scenarios you do have to ask those questions so you know what to do, but that's also the gut feeling.
Yeah.
So sometimes don't always seek counsel from everybody.
Everyone. And
Yeah,
being a
yeah,
lone
yeah.
wolf, you really have to kind of like be your own mentor.
You have to. You have to
be your own.
You have to.
You have to give yourself advice.
It's actually really important because sometimes when you go talking to people, you might be talking to the wrong person.
Yeah, they've never been on that journey.
Yeah, exactly. And even not even being on that journey, it might be the enemy.
Ooh.
It might be the enemy, and you might be selling yourself out, not knowing that you're selling yourself out. It's happened to me so many times in Nigeria that I began to understand that, like, yo, you have to move in silence. You have to not necessarily move in secrecy, but you have to move smart. You know what I mean? Like, don't go opening your mouth telling everybody what you're doing, but after the fact. So that's why, like, even with Obi's house, when I started, one of the things I did was I didn't do flyers. I'm not going to tell you about what's going on at Obi's house, but have you heard about it? Do you want to come?
Right.
Do you want to enjoy yourself? Because the person that told you about it enjoyed themselves, right? So don't worry, you enjoy yourself. Pull up.
Love it.
Whoever is DJing, trust it that it's to be mad.
I love that. And you know what? It really is word of mouth.
Yeah.
And like two nights ago, I was at a dinner hosted by Victor Hikameno, the artist.
Okay.
And he invited, he was hosting these, this Ethiopian American artist called Julie. I'm not gonna say her surname because I don't know how to pronounce it. But just before the dinner, I said, let me Google this, babe. Her artwork is worth $10 million.
Wow.
Yeah, Julie Mahertu, something like that. But it ranges from $2 million to $10 million. She sold pieces for $10 million. I was like, damn. So I go to this dinner, and there are all these, she comes with all these white people, her team, they came for something. I don't even know what they came for, but it was a very nice dinner. They came to Nigeria for something to, I think, show this filmmaker's work and do some work with the artists and stuff like that. Anyway, at the end of the dinner, all of a sudden, all these, white people, this German guy was like, oh, we have to go. It was so nice to meet you. We're going out tonight. So, and I was like, it's a Monday. Where are you guys going? And one of the ladies was like, Obi's house? I was like, you're going to Obi's house? And she was like, yes, it's good. I said, very good. Very good. Go have fun. But it was wild.
That's crazy.
Like, because I was like, where are you going on a Monday?
Yeah.
And
$10 million running around Obi's house. You don't even know
I mean?
it. But I always tell people, because the setting we have created, I always say you never know who you're going to be sitting next to, partying with, dancing with, doing your two-step with. So make sure you speak to that person. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure you speak to that person. You never know. People have given so many testimonies when they've seen me, or how they met the business person they've always wanted to meet, or finally made a connect with someone. Different things. They first time in Nigeria, and they got to meet everybody that they wanted to meet at Obi's house. So the rest of their week was planned out, because then they were already thinking, how am I going to meet all these people? And then they just came out one Monday night and met everybody. They've scheduled their meetings, and now they can go about their week. So yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Very, very interesting. So we have this thing called the Wilderness Toolkit. So we're trying to put together different tools that our listeners can basically have in their roster when they're in the wilderness. So every guest, we ask, what tools would you give for this Wilderness Toolkit that people can use either when they're navigating, where they're lost, where maybe the voices are too much. Like, what tool that has worked for you can we add into this toolkit?
First of all, you might not need tools with an S, just because you really just need God. Yeah.
Good.
When you tap in with God, then He'll give you the rest of the tools to put in that toolbox. But if I'm going off of my own experience, I definitely had to run back to God. Understand, first of all, that nothing you do in life is bigger than God. No crime, no sin, no amount of fraudulent activity, no amount of wrong. Because on the good, nobody shows any fear. The devil only whispers to you about your past.
He doesn't know the future.
Yeah, he doesn't know the future. Understand that the devil has no power over your future. You give him that power, because you see, when we're talking about wrong counsel, you might be in the room even speaking your plans out loud. Sometimes you need to just be praying your plans to God. You understand? So be careful how you do, what is in your mind, what is in your heart, and what is coming out of your mouth. But for me, I had to go back to God. I had to rekindle my relationship with God, and I realized that I have to keep doing that, because I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not perfect.
Of course.
I'm a child of God, and with that, doesn't only come paradise. It comes a lot of warfare. So that is why you need God, and in God you find the stillness you were talking about, to always know when to just pause. There has to be the waiting period for instruction on where to go and what to do.
Yes.
So don't always be, don't be that person that's like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. No, you don't.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you don't.
Yeah.
Calm down, pray about it, dissect it, no matter what it is, talk about it with God and keep moving. From there, you figure out, like, for instance, my tools were learning how to pause, discipline, and I had to rekindle my relationship with honesty. And that honesty was now understanding that, don't beat yourself up about your past. Learn how to forgive yourself, face your demons. It's not that easy, but everything you want, and it sounds so cliche, but it's the truth, that everything you want is on the other side of fear. You realize that once you cross over, is almost like comedy, because then it's like, what? Why was I afraid?
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So those are the things that but it can be different for this person, can be different for anybody watching, can be different for you. But, I had to understand how to just chill. I had to understand discipline. I had to understand, abstaining from sex, weed, drugs, alcohol, the entire thing, like living, you have to understand those things. If you don't have discipline over those things, then you're not there yet. You understand? So those are the things that I needed to tap into. Man, just knowing what to do, moving at the right time, you feel me? But God first, because then with your relationship with God, you're going to go through a warfare with God. It is going to be victorious. Don't second guess it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Nothing is greater than God. Believe that in every sense of the word.
Right.
So go to battle with God by your side. When you get on the other side, you will now, from that battle, understand what needs to be in your own toolbox.
Right.
And then you operate like that.
And that's how you become lone wolf. Drop mic, but you can't drop this mic.
You can't drop this mic, it's expensive.
Cool, very expensive. Thank you, Obi.
Anytime, sis. Anytime. I got you.
Appreciate you. Do you think that people will subscribe to this? Like, actually subscribe? Like, actually hit the click and that red button and subscribe? Because you know how people are. They'll say they'll subscribe or they won't. Like, what's the incentives for subscription? I feel like people would subscribe. If I was watching this podcast, I swear I would subscribe. I would. Because I love to hear from people. I love to learn from people. Like, I'm constantly learning. And especially people who have been in places I've never been, right? I hate to hear like the highlight story. I want to hear the behind the scenes. I want to hear when you were on your knees. I want to hear when you were broke. And how did you come out of that, right? So, of course I would subscribe. They're going to subscribe, right? Right? Please subscribe.